A listening exercise. That is how the White House described Friday's planned summit in Anchorage, Alaska, between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Top diplomats for both countries, well, they spoke on the phone today. That was an important thing because they're trying to nail down that this meeting will actually happen. Ed O'Keefe joins us from the North Lawn of the White House. That's first things first. Make sure this thing actually happens.
And it looks like we're headed to a meeting on Friday in Alaska. The White House announcing today that the two leaders will indeed meet. Okay, we've got that. Who else is going to be in that meeting? What exactly are they going to discuss? What is the end goal of this? We asked the president this yesterday. We asked again today at the White House, and they're essentially saying this is a temperature-taking exercise. And it won't happen until the president speaks tomorrow with Vladimir Zelensky and other European leaders in a virtual conversation to get their sense of what they would like the president to keep in mind, at least, when they have this conversation on Friday. But in essence, this thing could be very quick, Major. This thing could go on for a long time. We simply don't know what the format will be, to what extent these two will discuss things with their underlings, or whether it's just the two of them one-on-one.
Ed, sometimes we as reporters get inklings of perceived advantages before events like this. And it struck my attention, as I'm sure it did yours, that the Russian Foreign Ministry put out a readout of a phone call between the Foreign Minister and Secretary of State Rubio before our State Department did. And that may signal nothing at all, or it also may signal that the Russians want to make sure they're getting their version of events out first, no matter how incrementally small that might be.
Well, see, I look at that slightly differently. It's that the Russians and every other country this administration talks to gets their version of events out faster than this one, because this one still can't quite grasp whether they should issue some kind of an official readout, or they're waiting for the president to issue one himself through his Truth Social account. So there's been a real conflict over at the State Department about how often do we release readouts. Over here, there's been an issue with confirming that calls happened with certain world leaders. So I don't know that it's necessarily regarding this weekend and the advantage they have. I think it's just standard practice right now that any time an American official, a top American official, is talking to another country, that other country is more likely to get the word out before this White House or any of the departments do.
And very quickly, Ed, President Zelensky is trying to put the best face on it, talking about confidence and the strength the U.S. brings to this encounter.
Yeah, the more he can be engaged in this, certainly in the lead-up, the better. And tomorrow will go a long way to either assuaging those concerns. The president can say to them, look, you all need to calm down. I realize there's bad blood here, but you have to trust me and my ability to go into this to feel him out and get a sense of how serious he may be. After that, whether they can make peace or not remains to be seen. But he has also vowed that the moment he leaves that meeting with Putin, he's calling Zelensky to let him know how it went. And from there, we'll see. Do they meet up again later this month? Do they meet in September? Do they meet at all? Or does the war rage on?
Ed O'Keefe at the North Lawn of the White House. Thank you so very much.